I've been homeschooling for 4 years.
Okay, what do you think about it?
I like it.
Why?
Because you wake up when you want to, and you do about 4 hours of school, and you're done with your curriculum for the day. So,
I got one sister. She's been homeschooling for the same amount of time.
Okay.
And yeah, we really like it.
How long have you been playing basketball in the homeschool too?
7 years now.
Okay. So, is it pretty good?
Yeah.
You feel like you missed anything when you're not in public school?
Nah, just a bunch of crap.
So why homeschool?
Why homeschool?
Yep.
Well, I think it's one of the better educations that you can get. In fact, I think it's the best. I personally have taught in public school, private school, and I've had the pleasure of doing homeschooling. And I just think there's nothing better than the one-on-one that the child gets, the attention from the parents, and for us, the Christian-based principles that you can permeate the curriculum with.
We're from Carthage, Missouri and Joplin, Missouri.
Okay. Why do you come down here to Springdale, Arkansas?
We are here for homeschool basketball games. My daughter plays on the varsity basketball team and her son plays on the boys varsity.
Okay. Why do you come all the way down here?
It's real hard to find teams nearby because it's a homeschool group. There's not very many locally, so we don't get to play very many right in our neighborhood. We usually have to travel a ways to find other homeschool groups that we can play.
Okay, is it worth it?
Yes,
travel worth it?
It gives the kids something to do, and I think athletics is a big part of any high school, junior high age group. It gives them something to do.
Good pass.
How long have y'all homeschooled?
I've homeschooled for 2 years.
Okay. Where were you going before?
I went to Woodland Junior High in Fayetteville.
Okay.
9 years.
Okay, so you're pretty much your whole career then.
Yeah.
All right.
I've been homeschooling for 4 years.
Okay, what do you think about it?
I like it.
Why?
Because you wake up when you want to, and you do about 4 hours of school, and you're done with your curriculum for the day. So.
Okay. How many else? Are there any other brothers, sisters, or anybody else involved? Or?
I have 2 sisters that been homeschooling for 2 and 1 year.
Okay. So you like it then?
Yeah.
All right. How about you?
I got one sister. She's been homeschooling for the same amount of time.
Okay.
And yeah, we really like it.
How long have you been playing basketball with the homeschool group?
7 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it pretty good?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you missed anything when you're not in public school?
Nah, just a bunch of crap.
Okay, like what? Like what?
Waking up early.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that.
School buses.
Oh, no.
Nah, just drugs and crap like that. Just stuff that you don't need.
Okay. All right. Okay, so you're the newest guy out.
Yeah, I'm the newest guy.
What do you think?
I really like it.
Did you play ball before? When you were
I played kind of summer ball and
Street ball.
I played a lot of pickup games at home and stuff.
Okay.
But other than that, last year was my first year to play organized ball. I was second leading scorer.
Yeah.
I'm just good like that.
So what do you think about homeschooling?
Oh, I love homeschooling.
Now, do you anybody else in your family homeschool?
My sister already graduated, but she was homeschooled.
Okay.
And she played ball too.
Okay. I understand you used to coach the basketball team. What was that like?
It was great fun, and I miss it dearly. Just other things came up that I had to let that go for a while. So
it wasn't a contract thing. They didn't renew your contract or anything.
Wasn't that?
no, I hope it wasn't that. But
So you have had some children go through the program as well, or?
yes.
Okay.
My son right now is going to be playing as a junior, and I had a son last year that graduated as a senior, and then I have 3 other younger children that aren't playing right now.
Okay. What is the goal of sports in your mind?
Hopefully to teach the kids how to get along with others, how to play with their heart in it, to give it their all, and to use that in other areas of their life, that they could just grow up to do things that would glorify the Lord and with their all.
Both these things are solid.
What's the attitude on the court? Do you see any difference between the homeschoolers and the other kids? Or?
Yeah, they're a little bit more disciplined in that regard, I would probably say. You don't have near as much talking back, or
Talking back to the official or to each other?
Well, both.
Okay.
Flack about calls on top of that. So.
Okay. So how long have you been officiating?
About 4 years.
What got you into homeschooling?
We just decided that we wanted to homeschool and have one-on-one with our kids because the classrooms seemed to be getting larger, and my son needed more one-on-one attention.
Okay. And so you've been doing it for how long?
3 years.
Okay. And how's he doing?
Great. His reading has improved. His arithmetic has improved. So we're very pleased.
But isn't he lonely for all the other students?
No, we have 5 children.
Okay.
And we belong to the Ochia group here. They play basketball and have made a lot of wonderful friends.
Okay. Okay. So you would recommend the homeschooling?
Yes, I would highly recommend it.
What's the best part of it?
The quality time I get with my children and the one-on-one time I get with my kids.
Now, are you schooling all 5 at home? Or?
No, I homeschool the older 2. I have 3 smaller children, which next year will start kindergarten. 2 of them I'm going to start together. So
wonderful, wonderful. So what would be your recommendation to other people that are thinking about it?
I would highly recommend it, and I would stress that they look into the curriculums and make sure they get a well-structured curriculum, but also you need to look at what your child's learning level is and modify it to how they learn.
What curriculum do you use?
Abeka.
Okay, okay. What has been your experience as far as socialization for the kids?
They probably have more socialization now than they did when we were in public school.
Okay.
I did have a concern about that when we first started. But we're here with the basketball team quite a bit through the week, through the summer. We still get together and play pickup games. So they see a lot of their friends still, quite a bit.
So how much of a sacrifice has this been on you?
None.
Okay. What about your husband?
None. I mean, this is something that we have talked about for a while.
Okay.
And I don't think I've sacrificed anything.
Does he get involved in the homeschooling part of it at all?
Sometimes. He helps with the math and the science.
Okay, okay. Excellent. Have you guys seen that actually work out? Does it hurt? Are they better kids because they play sports?
Oh, absolutely. And especially the girls team, they have been together for several years, and so it's wonderful for them to learn to work together as a team. And they've gone through a few years that they lost over and over and over again, but they still hung together and they kept learning so much. And so it's wonderful this year that they are winning more and more. And so it's wonderful, not that that's the whole goal, but they are learning to put patience into action, and just incredible character growth along the way.
What kind of a commitment is it for you all to be involved in a sports program? How many days a week and all those type of things?
It's 2 or 3 days a week of practice and games. The biggest commitment is if you were in the public school, you've already paid your tax dollars, so it's wonderful that pretty much everything is paid for. If you homeschool, it's just a financial commitment because you've got to pay for the gym time and the refs and the uniforms, and so it's a bit of a cost factor, and you've got to do a lot of fundraisers, and so as a family you need to really evaluate whether that's worth it and that's where you want to put your finances.
Okay. Why do you guys homeschool?
Is there enough time?
It's great to be around all of your kids and be able to influence them and keep some of the outside influences that you find in a public school away from them. Not that you can shelter them from everything, and not that you would want to, but hopefully to give them what they need when they go out into the world.
Tell me about the change you've seen from your older children to your younger children.
Well,
in the schools.
From our older children to our younger children, I can't really say about that, but from the time that I went to school, when the parents and the teachers had a strong alliance, and your Sunday school teacher and your homeroom teacher might be the same person, from that to what it is today, there's such a change. We found out just how terrible and personal the change can get when our daughter was in the 8th grade, and that career development.
Career orientation. Every 8th grader in Arkansas has to take it.
They get a printout, and the parents usually don't see these printouts, and our daughter's was full of trashy statements pertaining to sex and other things that have nothing to do with a career, and then in learning that there were things like that and following up on it, my niece, who's a fine young lady, was assigned a sexually explicit book to do a book report on in the 10th grade.
Monica,
the superintendent of schools promised us that would never happen again, but when our daughter got up there 4 years later, the same book was still on the list with the same teacher.
What years was this?
What year would that?
8th grade situation.
Been 10 years ago. 10 years ago.
Okay. So 96. Okay.
Yeah. 96.
So
Monica, for instance, in her debate class was forced to debate for abortion.
Oh, yeah.
And she was the best debater in the class, and she didn't want to use that topic, and she was forced to just things like that. We went up to the school. We spent a lot of time up at the school the last few years, but
she felt that since she is a very persuasive person, that if she caused just one of the kids that were listening to the debate, that were observing the debate, to take that stance, that she would never be able to forgive herself for it.
So did they have an argument in that same class about a pro-Ku Klux Klan person?
Of course not. Not that we know of. I mean,
the difference, for instance, between homeschooling and the public school, for instance, would be that my son, who's a senior this year, was in debate for 3 years in the National Christian Homeschool Debate Club. It's a national thing. You go all the way to Washington, D.C. with it. And they debated topics like oil reserves and things of that nature, instead of these really hot topics like
that's a moral conviction. That's not a conviction about what pizza you want.
Exactly.
That's right.
So your parents tell me you've been homeschooled all your life. Is that true?
Yes. I've been homeschooled since I was 6 years old.
What do you think?
Well, I enjoy homeschooling. I really do. I think kids should be homeschooled the first 4 or 5 years of their education, because the things that they're learning are things that the parents should be able to know how to teach their children. Now, true, physics, maybe algebra, calculus, and other higher level courses like that, you could make a case for public or private education beyond that point.
So how you handle those more complex courses?
Well, my mom, she enrolls me as a concurrent student out at the local university, University of Arkansas, Fort Smith, which is really just a junior college that tries to pretend they're a 4-year school, because you can only be a teacher or an engineer. Those are your career options.
So, but you go down to that school in twice a week, or how often are you down there?
Well, I live in Fort Smith, so I usually attend classes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But incidentally, this semester I'm taking a college class at the University of Arkansas, an MRTC class, which is done on the computers, and I believe the MRTC programs are better, which is modular mathematics. I believe those are better than conventional algebra or other types of mathematics.
This is just strictly on the computer, no instructor?
Yes, you can you can have a guided tour through each problem, and it'll show you how to do it, so you don't have to really ask a teacher to come over and help you with the problem. And so it's really self-explanatory.
Do you think that's true? Some people are going to have better success with that, other people aren't? Is that?
Yes, I think so, because some people aren't as computer literate as the ones who excel at modular mathematics.
But you still have your mom, though. She's a pretty bright lady, so you can always go and talk with her about math, or is she just...
No, she's more English and history and rhetoric.
Okay. Tell me about your experience with this homeschooling basketball.
Well, when I first started playing for the Faith Crusaders in August of 1999, I never thought I'd end up playing for my arch rival, the Fayetteville Knights.
Okay.
I'd like to hoist up a championship trophy when the 06-07 season is done.
So, is sports an important part of homeschooling, you think?
Yes, because it's a refutation of one of the arguments that people who are critical of homeschooling usually bring up. They say, oh, well, they can't play sports, so I want my kid playing sports. Well, we offer basketball.
Okay, so you've had 2 children already completed?
No, 1.
Just 1, okay. What's he doing now?
Right now he's working and planning on going either into the military or into law enforcement.
Okay. And how about you? How long are you homeschooled?
I have homeschooled for 12 or 13 years, and I also have a son that graduated a couple years ago, and he's in college playing basketball at a Christian college, and then my daughter is a senior. So, I have a 4-year-old all the way up to a 20-year-old, and the reasons we homeschool now are not why we started. We were in California, and the schools there were just not an option. There was 40 kids in a class and a lot of things on campus we didn't want. And moving here to Missouri, the schools really weren't, nearly like California, but just the joy and delight of having your children with you, the things that are important and on our heart, we can transfer to our children. We can tuck God's Word and His truths in their heart. So we feel like, that the knowledge is very important, but for us, the character and moral instruction is even much more important, and we can do both the academics and the moral training much easier when we're homeschooling.
So you all find that sports is all a part of that then, that whole moral training?
Absolutely. It takes a lot of the lessons you're teaching them each day, and it puts it into practice on the court. Do you pitch a fit like most people do out on the court, or do you practice a little patience and a little self-control? And leadership skills come out on the court or in a team sport so much more, to take an active role in encouraging or leading the other team members.
James Lane, and this is my wife, Penny.
Now tell me about your son's involvement in this sports program.
Well, he's a senior this year, and he's had a desire to be on a national championship team, and the Knights are very competitive at the national level. So he came up here and tried out, and he's made the team, and they're a fine bunch of guys. We knew him by reputation from having a team of our own in the past, and he's really happy up here, and they've given him every opportunity.
How have you seen homeschooling change over the 12 years you've been involved, or has it changed?
I'm not sure. The biggest change I've seen is that when we started, there wasn't anything like these big support groups whatsoever, and I couldn't even find curriculum. And now you can find the curriculum. There's sports programs actually, and there's organizations. So that's a huge thing. She's got to go tape this game. Sorry, it's hugely important.
That's fine. What curriculum do you use?
We kind of use a smattering of curriculum where some people will just buy one certain set. We use some Abeka, we use some Sunlight, we use some Rod and Staff. I pick and choose what's best for individual kids or what's worked in the past. So there's so many catalogs out there, and you can just go through them and pick what works.
Talk to me about the support that you have now in the area. You're in Carthage, or you're in
Joplin, and there is at least 3 or 4 different support groups. As when we first moved here 12 years ago, it was hard to even find one small group, but there are just large groups with, several hundred in some of the groups, down to 30 or 40 families in others. But there's just support groups that can teach actual academic classes. They'll have some teachers come in and actually do some instruction once a week where the kids can do the homework at home.
Okay.
Or they can just come for a chapel time together and lunch and different games and PE and choir. So there's just a smattering of opportunities now.
This one belong to you here?
Yes, this is one of our 6.
Okay.
So,
which one is he? Where is he?
This is Cooper, and he's our second to the last.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even younger one while we're right here.
Yeah.
Right.
Several. So.
What would you say to the person that's thinking about getting involved in homeschooling? Is it worthwhile? Is it something
absolutely. Especially if it fits your family. I know homeschooling isn't for everyone, but if you're even thinking about it, it's worthwhile investigating because it can be such a blessing to the family. You can, travel if your husband travels. You can, even the husband, the father can participate so much in some of the instruction. Or my husband used to travel quite a bit, so we could travel with him. We could take interesting field trips that went along with our curriculum. So it was just absolutely incredible opportunity for us. We have loved it so much.
Tell me about the school day. How does that look? What time does it start? What time
we start at about 8 o'clock in the morning. By 8 o'clock, the kids have already done their devotions, and so they each have different Bible or devotional that they're working out of, and so they're reading, but it's reading the best material possible. So they do their devotions. We do some different chores. We can incorporate a lot of chores, but by 8:30 or 9 we're just doing school, but we can go straight through till 12 or 12:30, and usually they're done for the day. If they've gotten everything done, they have their checklist, they go off and mark it off, but we just have delightful times of getting together and reading great history books, or classic literature is just our favorite part. But
what other parts of your life do you incorporate with that homeschooling?
Well, pretty much, everything, like I said before, just their chores, their church life. It's you take it from the Bible where he says, instruct your children, and it's as you go along through the day, as you walk on the road, as you lie or sit down. And so we almost feel like at times that there's no differentiating between, okay, we're formally doing school or we're not doing school. If we see a butterfly, if we see a bird, we talk about it, we get out the field guides and we look it up and we thank the Lord for it, and the instruction goes on all through the day.
What do you think as far as people that say homeschooling doesn't give the kids enough social interaction, enough social experience?
This is a family show. I can't say that. No, I think that is a specious argument because homeschoolers have youth groups. They have places that they go and they interact with other kids. They're not like Adam from Blast from the Past, who's lived in the basement for 35 years. They're actual kids that go out and interact, and you don't have to worry about them being Ted Kaczynski or Norman Bates. So I really think that that's an erroneous statement from anyone to say that homeschooling doesn't offer any social opportunities.
So compared to public school, what do you think about homeschool?
I kind of like them both, just because in public school, there's a lot of hot girls and stuff. And homeschool, I mean, there's some, but you know, usually your best friend is their boyfriend.
Yeah.
So, other than that, the athletic program is pretty much the same. We get the same amount of scouts.
Okay.
So.
It's all about the girls, huh?
I know. I'd rather focus on ball. We just weren't playing as a team.
Bad passes, we weren't playing as a team.
No defense.
Okay. How long have you guys been playing together?
Well, we've been playing together for 2 years.
2 years.
Okay, who's that?
Me.
Us three have been playing.
Okay, all three of you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So now, which game is this? Number 2 or number 1? How many games you played?
This is our third game.
Third game. Okay, how'd you do this last?
Our first game we won by a lot. Second game we lost by 3 points.
Okay.
And then this game was just a blowout.
Okay. So why do you think this game was a blowout?
Just bad passing, no defense, just not playing as a team.
We just weren't ready to play. We didn't come out.
How do you think you can play as a team better?
Better passing, better defense all the way around. When we come down on offense, then
run play.
Yeah, execute plays, cut to the ball.
What time of year is it best to have a game like this?
End of the season. End of the season.
End of the season.
Yep.
Try that again. This man knows.
You gotta have the beginning of the season because you just gotta find out where you stand, and you need an early challenge.
There you go. You have to tell what he's saying.
Yeah, you gotta be ready for it.
So this yellow one's one of yours also?
Yes, this is another one. And there's another little girl back here somewhere. Oh, I lost her. She's over here.
Mom, I'll find her.
She's back in the corner there? What do you say her disability is? Oh, really? Okay. Wonderful.
Oh, it's just, we could not have survived it if we had to worry about that at school. It's just been a life-changing event that we could all be with her. And
what age is she?
She's 4.
Okay, okay. So was this a congenital issue?
Yeah,
okay.
Found it out a little before birth.
Oh, she's a big girl for 4 though.
She is. She's been a girl for
Oh, please.
It made her grow. I finally said, we're done. So yeah, she's very big. So it's hard. She doesn't talk, and then people think she's older than she is.
But they were trying the growth hormones for what?
Growth hormone will boost her blood sugar.
Oh, she was hypoglycemic.
Yeah, she's very hypoglycemic. So yeah.
I'll be there.
Okay. Yeah, let's go watch Zach play. We're gonna go watch Zach play. Well, it's time for her to get a tube feed. So
what do you think? What do you think about her as far as what has God showed you through her life?
Oh my gosh, she's just an absolute miracle. You know, she should never have made it through birth or delivery, but according to the doctors, but we know God has a very different plan. Most of the specialists told us, oh, you probably want to just terminate this pregnancy, and that wasn't an option for us. And
so you knew about it early on?
Yeah, we knew about it during the pregnancy. She's just been an absolute blessing. And just the fact, you know, for our other kids, we feel like God knew that she's exactly who our whole family needed for, you know, some of the lessons you try to teach them about being content and nothing's a problem. When they look at her and what she's struggling with, how can you complain about other things? So she's been a real blessing.
So it's really helped the older children really.
Absolutely. You know, they just don't whine and complain about stuff that we see so many other kids doing. Their character, their contentment in the Lord, and you know, every day if we can just get bliss through another day, we're so happy. Instead of whining and complaining about other stuff, we're just.
So when you compare what you do to the old one-room schoolhouse, is it similar?
Oh, I think it's very similar. We can accommodate the teaching to what the kids need. The older ones can always come along and help the younger ones, and that's so much a part of their education is for them to learn how to patiently work with the younger ones. And isn't
that real life?
Yeah, it's real life. You know, there's really no other setting where, where you're stuck with 30 peers just your age. and told to get along, and this is real life. And we visit older people in our church. We take care of other little ones from other families that need help. So it's real life with a mixture of ages and just a huge blessing.
How big of a church do you belong to?
Our church is about 500, 600 people.
So what's been a reception in the church as far as
homeschooling? Oh, wonderful. My husband's the pastor, and there's several. Yeah, that helps. And there's a large number of other homeschooling families, and so it's just not a problem. I think a lot of it is they see our older kids, they see how well adjusted and spiritually they're mature, but emotionally and character-wise they're just doing great. So it's scary, but the proof's in the pudding. And
when you were talking about the cooperative, how long have you been involved, or how have you been involved?
We've been involved with that this is our 5th year.
Okay.
And it's just been a huge blessing. It continues to grow. There's probably 150 to 200 families involved. I mean, it's just a great